Where I'm living, we're getting some rains, probably at the tail ends of the storm since I'm like one state below Kentucky. I'm glad we're not getting any flooding here, though sometimes we will if it does rain hard enough.
Let's talk right now to Graves County Sheriff John Hayden. He's going to join us by phone. John, what is the situation there, especially Mayfield? You know, our hearts go out to this place that has been hammered by disastrous weather. And here we go again. What is your crew doing there in the county right now?
Well, we are actually watching the water levels in certain areas of our city and county. Some of the low-lying areas we have assisted with some water rescues and some evacuations.
The Paducah National Weather Service office gave us a report from Mayfield that they had up on 8th Street knee-deep water.
Yes, that's an area that has a lot of attention right now. We're working with the fire department and the Mayfield Police Department and helping to get those folks evacuated. And we're trying to get information out to the public about places that they can go to seek shelter at this time.
This has got to be a really difficult situation as a first responder. How are you getting access to some of these people? Because fire engines, trucks, and vehicles may not do it at this point. You've got flooded out roads.
Yeah, that's true. And another major concern that we have are some of the bridges out in the rural parts of our county. We know that they can only withstand so much water and so much pressure from that running water, and we're very, very concerned about losing some of those bridges, and we're not going to know until the water goes down, you know, how dangerous they are.
We're getting footage in from Brandon Clement. He's a local, he's from Live Storms Media. He's on the route here into Mayfield, and he's been able to show us some of the boats that first responders are basically using along the streets in Mayfield and to go, I guess, rescue people out of their homes or maybe even out of vehicles. But it's a tough situation here. They're basically pulling out all the resources. Does your county have a swiftwater rescue team already?
Yes, we have. Some of the firefighters are trained. We don't actually have any navigable rivers that go through our county, so we're probably not as well equipped as some of those counties that do have, you know, the navigable rivers and lakes and things of that nature. But we do have some folks that are trained on that.
Yeah, that's the situation in Graves County because you got the creeks and streams that are overflowing, turning the roadways into mini rivers. All of this feeds into the Ohio River eventually. It's a scenario where, unfortunately, Western Kentucky has not been a stranger to flash flooding. You'll remember last July, we had the devastating situation. What's your major concern?
You can be used to flash flooding, but there's only so much you can do if you continually get an ever-increasing amount of precipitation every year.
Going forward, because the rain doesn't look like it's stopping.
No, we were hoping that it would stop here about 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, but we're hearing that may not occur. We're afraid that people are going to get tired of staying at home. They're going to get out and start venturing around, and that's when they're going to get in trouble, and then we're going to be called. So we're just asking folks to please stay home. Stay home until the rain stops and the water goes down.
Yeah, and before we leave you, let's make an important point about that because people may be calling for first responders and you may want to serve them, you may want to help them, but it could be a case where you can't get to them. It's important for people to know that.
That's right. That's very true, and you know, we'll do our absolute best to get to folks. But if it is an emergency, please call us. We will get to you somehow.
Before we leave you, Governor Andy Beshear just put out on Twitter, he said, please pray for Mayfield and areas of Western Kentucky impacted by this flooding. We're working to respond, to assess the damage, and just like every challenge we face, we'll be there for all those affected. So